My name is Siddharth, and I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at our HealthMate. So, good that you're pointing it out that the subject there is called preventive health, because from an Indian context, if you look into it, what by and large which we practice in a day-to-day life is disease care management, and the healthcare comes in at a larger canvas. And in that healthcare, the most elementary, like any subject, has elementals. And preventive healthcare is that elemental which you're talking about, the most important aspect. So you are looking at knowing yourself. Preventive healthcare, in the similar line, it helps you know your health and where do you stand, at what level, what are the corrective measures which you will then take is going to be an offset of that. So whether I can control and arrest the problem where it is at this point of time, can I degrow it, and or I will have to get into a medicine, and then comes the aspect of disease care management. So yes, health preventive healthcare in that sense is the most ultimate when it comes to your well-being. Also, it's one of those things which you can plan. So you do not have to be dependent on being in accidental situation, is saying that uh, cardiac arrest happened, or suddenly um, any other medical emergency happened. This is something which, like the way you have your Google Sheets which are talking about what your day-to-day life is, you can always plug in an element of planned form of preventive healthcare, which is starts off with health checkups, doctor consultations, or even like going and meeting a consult specialist and kind of discussing what are the challenges or something which you feel you would like to know more about. So our HealthMate is a health tech company which operates in the healthcare management. We work with like a 3P model. We call it where there is payer on one side. A payer could be an individual, could be a corporate, which is paying for somebody else. Healthcare could be for themselves as well. Then there is patient, or the person who is getting that particular treatment, that particular attention which they're, that service being delivered to. And the third one is the provider. The provider could be a hospital, could be uh, a doctor, could be a wellness coach, anybody. So now what we've done is that we work as digital anchor. uh, we connect these three to talk to each other. And why this was needed was that in the absence of this, there was always a whole thing of who do I go to first? And there is nothing like who comes here first. They all need to be together. Uh, for us, when you're talking about business model, we charge the provider when it comes to an individual basis. So at any given point of time, the individual when who is using our HealthMate platform is not paying that extra dollar because he's using my service. In fact, because I'm delivering this as a service to the provider, I'm going to be getting my set of commission from that. So because it is a service which I'm delivering, and I'm getting a service charge for that. So one is looking at expanding the service portfolio, right? So we will continue to focus on preventive healthcare. We're trying to make this the more and more services I'll be able to push into the market space, I will be able to gather more data. This data will strengthen the information which the user has, and it will eventually lead to a lot of things, like your insurance cost can come down. I mean, eventually something like how much premium you're paying is based on the potential of potential risk which you're looking at. But if I'm able to read my own data, I'm getting empowered to decide on what I should be paying rather than somebody else telling me to do it. So as a next step, we are launching a call 3 app, the number 3, call 3. It's an intervention in form of incident reporting. So it's not isolating just one or two incidents. It has 6 to 7 specific modules uh, where harassment reporting, stress built up, etc., or any other coaching which people require at their level, they can interact. So they will be having a very specific drop down structure, and they will be able to trigger the information which will go out to a specific coach, HR, admin, whichever way the organization looks into it. The information remains completely anonymized there, and it's only that specific to individuals, the subject matter expert and the person who needs that help are going to be interacting on that particular front, and this gets completely monitored at at a super secure server with 256-bit data encryption. Now, so when we look at healthcare, and it's a complete ecosystem we're talking about. We're talking about physical and mental. So you cannot essentially go and divide them. One is inter linked with the other. Uh, yes, traditionally or in our day-to-day life, when you talk about health, we tend to say that I'm good because I don't have fever. I am good because I don't have pain. And that pain we're talking about is the one which you can feel here, but there is one another pain which you're talking about is that the mental well-being part of it which you're talking about. So, whatever our HealthMate does as a organization is not just focusing on one individual. So, and specifically when we work with the corporate sector, we look at how an individual who spends the largest form of active hours in that premise, right, is the place where they are interacting more, and it's that place where they should be given that first focus, first outlet to be able to speak or open out and seek redressal. And that's where we come kind of start working. When we work with corporates, we try and give them modules. We try and understand what is their interest, how are they looking at approaching this topic, how open are they uh, to let their employees be open about the situation. So you have to first understand the DNA of the organization or the person you are interacting with, and then customize the solution and give it to them. So, see, technology plays a vital role in everything which we do today, right? Partly because it is needed, partly because we've also allowed it to become a part of our system. And when it comes to use of technology, so technology today is getting helpful in the whole healthcare management system, right? And if you are looking at managing a doctor appointment or a consultation or paying for a surgery, in the similar way, you are even utilizing the same technology to seek an intervention. So, I may not be comfortable talking about my mental wellness issue with somebody face to face. So, and I wouldn't like it to be done in a completely anonymous way. So, I would like to have a number where I can just pick up and speak without giving any sort of cue on who I am. Because first, so that's where again technology comes into picture. Second is, I may not want to speak to a doctor or meet a doctor who's living in the same city, because what if I'm there in that city and I happen to meet another person whom I know in that same clinic, and like so that situation of trying to be uh, less visible, and hence probably a video conferencing leads to that whole piece there. The third piece would be like one would talk about is making notes on that. That how are these cues getting captured, and what is one doctor leaving as notes for the other doctor to read through. So that set of concrete information which kind of flows from one to the other to the third level or fourth level, it also helps in building the case history. And all throughout, you're using technology to kind of deliver this. Once all this is delivered, like if you're talking about the corporate space, you can use machine learning, you can use business intelligence form of data gathering to determine that what are the trivial issues and what are some serious aspects which is bothering your people in your company, right? And then it delivers you the action point on what will you use tomorrow to offer them ease at work and eventually lead to a better productive environment.